I know.
Hey guys, how are you? Hello, lovely rich togs. How are you? Hello, Facebook. Hello, friends. It's Gillian here, and I am joined again by Rachel, the lovely Rachel. We've been in each other's worlds for about 11 months now, just under a year. So I'm so thrilled to be nattering to you again, Rach. Thank you for sparing some time.
Not at all. Thank you for having me again. It's weird being back.
We just like chatting, don't we?
Yes.
I just wanted to spend 10 minutes, super quick live with you today, super quick Rich Tog chat, just sharing the journey that you've had in June. Because as we've just been chatting, being a business owner, you do have the ups and downs. And your June has just been up and down and up in a snapshot. Started low, went high, absolutely smashed your month by the end of the month. But it's just really a great picture of what we have to face as business owners. So tell us a little bit about the beginning of June for us.
Oh, well, yes, major personal crisis, but no, it was all good. So,
Life
yeah,
happens
just
to, we've all got personal stuff go on that distracts us, haven't we?
yeah. So no, and then yeah, I know it's a bit of a buzzword just now, but yeah, the mindset was completely low. Didn't really know what I was going to do, but then weird little things happen where I couldn't really wallow in my circumstances at all. And I just had to just, everything was just pushing me to like the next day. It was just like, all right, okay, I've got to like bring myself back up because tomorrow was this. And then the next day's that, then the next day's that. So I was like, I couldn't ever wallow. And then, yeah, but so yeah, it was kind of different because like I thought, right, headspace is gone. Just release all the pressure that I put on myself every single month, trying to hit the targets, hit the targets, hit the targets. And I thought, right, well, just release all the pressure, see how this goes, give myself a couple of weeks to just kind of get this underway. And then I've done a massive thing lately where I really like stories because I'm a total like story fan on Instagram anyway. And I now I just let go of all the pressure and I just made all my stories personal and
I
it was
love
just about me, my dogs, my farm life, the whole thing to just kind of get that feedback, but in a way that it wasn't like salesy or anything like that, because I was just like, I can't deal with anything else at the moment. So, but it kept my consistency there because if I just ghosted everyone for
love
2 weeks,
that. I love
the
that.
coming back would have been even harder. Where if I just kept it personal, it was like, okay, I'll just add in a few little sales here and see how it goes. So just try and tease myself back into it, but not go like, oh, I'm back. And, it's just to kind
Yeah.
of keep consistency, but not to,
Yeah,
not put.
because I think if you are going through a personal challenge, which we all go through, things happen in life, and that distract you and take your focus away and bring your energy down. And it is then hard work, getting your happy face on, being visible, doing your marketing, getting your stuff out there. So I completely get that. And I absolutely love that as a piece of advice, even when you're not feeling 100% on your energy. You're not feeling like, oh, I've got to go out there and talk about my thing, talk about my services, talk about what I do. To keep that consistency, just make it easy and talk about you and your life, because we all know as a major part of your marketing is anyone's marketing is growing, know, like, and trust. People buy from people. So you talking about your life in a rural environment, your dogs, your animals, the pressure, as you said, the pressure's taken off because you're not thinking, right, what's my marketing drive? How am I going to get people inquiry? You're just talking about you and your life. And that then connects with your ideal client who also love living in a rural environment. They also have animals in their life. So it's that you're still doing your marketing, but you've taken the weight off your shoulders. I love that as a bit of guidance and a bit of advice.
Yeah. And they were a huge distraction because if I didn't have a dog or with my calving happening at the time, I would just been like, oh, there's this huge pressure to put myself on the camera when actually every day I could just put them on it. And it was just like, okay. And it just gave us that, small talk chat that, it was about. I can't even think what now it was now, but it just kind of, it made me realize there was, life can still go on. And it's like, it was a nice distraction in the fact that it wasn't all photography based, and it was just like, right, just building that rapport.
It's you, your personality, your lifestyle, your values, just you and your brand, which I love. I love that. And it's
No,
going to connect with other people who love animals.
yeah, it's a funny one because like I've kind of held that back a little bit because I thought, oh, I shouldn't show this much, and I've showed like, and everyone's then saying, you need to show. I felt a bit of a hypocrite in a way because it was just like, I go, oh, you need to show your brand, blah blah blah, and then I was kind of holding everything back myself. But now I'm like, oh, okay, no, this is me.
This is it. This can be done. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So then towards the end of the month, obviously me and you've been working together just under a year now. So you have been working in your multiple marketing pillars, you've been building your business, and you've done really well. But obviously June has come in as an absolute killer month. Total revenue into you is just under 7k in photography, and then if we count other sources of income and future bookings, you're looking at just under 9k. Right, just like boom, it's fantastic. And I remember you were voice noting me and saying, Jill, I can't believe it, I've just totted it up. I mean, it's such an achievement, and particularly when the month started, when you were energetically low because of other things going on in life, you should be so buzzing with yourself. So talk us through, where of those sources of photography bookings, what marketing have you been doing that's resulted in those? And also, you were talking about your stories. Tell us a little bit more about how you're embracing doing stories, how often you're doing them, things like that.
Yes. So I recently did an attraction marketing course, which was all about selling through stories, which I was like, this is much more me, because I get the total fear posting on my wall, and then I feel I have to do it 6 times a week when you totally don't. So daily stories is kind of what I do now, and it just becomes that habit. It seems like really scary at the start, but then you're like, oh, I haven't posted today, and it becomes a lot more habit and easier. And then building in that personal side, it makes it a lot easier. But yeah, halfway through June, I thought, right, I either have to write this month off completely or change it to like the biggest glow up I could do. And it is weird where just the energy shift just changes like that. And yeah, I got a year-long client within about a few days who who it just came out of the blue. I put one post up, it totally resonated with her, and she was like, I want this straight away.
Fantastic. And can you see the beauty? That's joy to my ears. You put one post up and it totally resonated with her. And I bet she's been watching you for a while, but that particular post, however you scripted it, it spoke to her, it spoke to her heart, it spoke to, what was it about? Can you remember?
So I put a picture up of another horse rider that I did last year, and I just said, it was one of my favorite photos from the year before, and she does this 4 shoots a year thing, which she actually doesn't. So it was kind of like, it was weird, but that's what I've changed my business lately, where I now focus mainly on year-long clients and not the kind of one shoot people. But I was like, right, okay, if you need content, this is what you need, 4 shoots a year, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, I saw you put Robin's post up. She's like, that definitely sounds to me, how do I go about this? And the even weirder thing happened was with my coach on the attraction marketing course. I've had a real nightmare with nightmare clients the previous month. And I was like, Rebecca, I just don't know what I'm doing, and this is just driving me nuts. And she was like, right, journal your ideal client. And like, I think the following day, Fenella messaged me, and the whole thing, she was like, yes, no problem. What I scripted, saying she wouldn't object to the price at all, I said the price, and she was like, oh yeah, okay. And then paid it that night, signed the contract, everything. It was just so easy, and it was exactly how I scripted. It was really
wonderful.
weird.
So when you did that journaling exercise, obviously getting everything down on paper about your ideal client, and that's definitely something I always advise photographers to do when they're building their business, because you need to know who you're talking to. You need to know who you want to work with, how you can connect with them, how you can build that relationship. Do you feel it's that exercise that helped you shape that post that spoke to her?
No, because I think the post was even done before. I
How
hadn't
interesting. It was
scheduled it
already in your
before.
head.
Yeah, I'd already scheduled it before and then scripted it. And then, yeah, like the following day she came in. And then, yeah, it was really strange. And then the rest of the bookings were all just slow burners where I've been working with a web designer and she was like, oh, I've got this client they want for then. And I was like, okay. And then she just, paid straight away. And then another one came in and another one came in and another one came in. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this.
So for me, I mean, I'm a little bit woo. So I would say by doing that scripting exercise, that journaling exercise, it's almost manifesting those ideal clients. All the information about who you want to work with is already in your head because you proved that because you'd already scheduled that post. But by really focusing on it, getting it down on paper, going over it, feeling it, you've manifested it.
Yeah, it's quite weird actually because all the clients I've had in the last month have been this more me type client where
Amazing.
it's just kind of realized that there's now that is quite weird. Yeah.
So that's an exercise we definitely recommend, isn't it? Getting to know your ideal client, putting it down on paper, really feeling that person, connecting with that person. Love that, Rach. That's brilliant. Well done. Fantastic. So any last tips before we let you go on stories? You've obviously been embracing doing daily stories. What are the stories that have worked for you? If this is something, if a photographer's watching, guys, and I'd love to know, is this been useful? And if you are a photographer and you're watching, let us know in the comments, what genres are you currently in? And let us help you. Any questions you've got about your business or your marketing, pop them in the comments. But thinking about your stories, because they've obviously worked really well, what sort of advice would you give people? Obviously, the daily has worked for you.
Yeah, and treating it, and kind of tip that I had from the course was treating it as like a morning, afternoon, and night. And even if it's just 3, like, because you could do one in the morning and then, your day can go away with you and, you don't do any. But if you try and get that morning one in first and then, check in at lunchtime and then check in at night and then just don't put as much pressure on either. Just, it can be the most random things. Like I had probably, and just training your audience to click on polls and things like that, like, and using it in really stupid things. Like we were talking about crumpets the other day, and it got like the most response I've ever had, and it was something so strange, and it's just it's weird because even like that attraction marketing course that I was on, we started that conversation about Downton Abbey, so it had nothing to do with selling on stories or anything like that. It was literally a story about Downton Abbey, and we started chatting, and then it was like, hang on, who is this woman? And then started looking into her, and I was like, yes, I have to work with this woman. So don't neglect the personal nuisance stuff. Even just asking people what are they watching on Netflix, because it's a massive engagement tool, and that is where you then brew those connections from.
So when you say don't neglect the what, did you say? You broke up a little bit.
Oh, did I? Sorry, I can't remember now. It was on. I said don't neglect the kind of the non, like, don't put so much pressure on the salesy ones, and just a really good one is asking what people are watching on Netflix, because it just gives you that instant engagement.
That's an engagement piece of content, isn't it? It's asking a question. Are you a morning or evening person? Are you a tea or coffee person? Yeah. What are you watching on Netflix? What could you recommend? Because people love to give their opinion, to answer questions. So that's a great piece of advice. I love that. And the checking in. So if you did your story in the morning, we always talk about don't be that friend that just turns up, that posts and runs. Check back in, see if anyone's responded, and start the relationship. You wouldn't rush up to someone in a bar and say hello and then skedaddle off, would you? You'd continue the conversation. So I love that as well. I think that's an excellent advice.
And it's kind of training myself as well, because I want to start doing reels and little bits of video in my packages, but I still have this weird mental block about not using my phone while I'm at shoots. But actually, I read a really good information the other day about it, and that you don't expect, major high-end photographers would always have a shoot plan that they would refer to all the time. So, it's not a memory test. And actually, if
No,
you're
it's
checking
not.
your phone, it means you're getting the shots together rather than it being like
Absolutely. And you can use that as part of your experience with your client. You can say to your client, I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes, just chill and relax. I'm just going to check our shoot plans on my phone. And the other way to use your phone, Rachel, and this is a great piece of advice for all of you guys, is you create your own content. I constantly have my phone with me and a little tripod. And while I'm shooting, I'll have set it up and set it to video, so I can create some content of myself working. So that's definitely something. So yeah, let's get you over the block of using your phone.
Yes, yes.
Oh, thank you, Rach. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your insights. Really, really useful and interesting. And I'm so, so excited. Let's make July a smashing one as well.
Yes.
Okay, Rich Dogs, I hope you found that useful. Any questions about business marketing for your photography business, just pop them in the comments and I'd look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks, Rach.
Bye.
See you guys.